Cave Story, man. I feel kind of powerful just saying it, but maybe that power is beginning to wane. Do I need to introduce Cave Story? I know it's been so long, but I figured most people would know what it is, right? I guess it depends on the echo chambers you're locked in. I'll try not to waste too much time. Cave Story is an indie game, released on December 20th of 2004. It was created over a 5-year span by one person, Daisuke Amaya, also known as Pixel, which means he started working on this game back in 1999. That's insane. To a lot of people, Cave Story is seen as this giant influencer on the likes of things like Mario or Doom when it comes to how it changed the industry. It showed that one person could make a full game. And I never played it. Me! Mega hipster Spacey! I'm a solo game dev myself, and you'd think that Cave Story would have inspired me, but I honestly never knew much about it. But maybe I felt its influence in the other games that were influenced by it, you know? Regardless, it released as a free game that you can still play today on computers. As you would imagine, it kinda blew up, and then Nicholas showed up and started porting it to everything. Suddenly I started seeing this dude's hat and everything, and this is where my story with Cave Story starts. When I was a younger teenager maybe, I remember being bored and scrolling through games on WiiWare, and as you would imagine, that's where I found Cave Story. I only ever played the demo for it though, so my mind is still foggy on it, and here I am over a decade later ready to play it. I think at most, you guys can find this video as a person from 2020's thoughts on Cave Story. It's been nearly 16 years and a lot of norms for video games have changed. So does Cave Story still hold up? I actually wasn't going to make a video on this, but after a few days, I just couldn't stop thinking about Cave Story. Something about it just really held my memory. I did my playthrough on the original PC release, 2004 translated. Why? Because it's free. I'm a hipster, and Nicholas can suck my dick-collis. Alright, we're in. So surprisingly, my controller actually worked for this, which is sweet. I used my Hori pad for this. Sadly, I couldn't get the D-pad to work, but I was fine enough just using the stick, even if I don't prefer it for 2D games. The controls felt very weird at first. It didn't feel smooth, it didn't look smooth, and this jump is floaty, man. But I mean, you can get used to controls over time, just stop complaining and you'll learn. So I can say I definitely remember the bunny dog guys known as the Mamigas, especially King and Jack. These dudes are cute, def the boyfriends. Hey man, it's not weird. I mean, you can sleep with one of them Amigas, sadly not King or Jack, but you get her lipstick too. Anyways, Cave Story is a 2D shooter. I'd compare it at most to Metroid, but that's mostly due to the missiles, and maybe the enemies dropping health and ammo. The most unique mechanic with Cave Story is of course the leveling system. Defeating enemies will usually wield these power chips that will level up your weapon. Most weapons have 3 levels and usually get better when they level up, though I personally like the sword at level 1. Anyways, let's talk about the story. Hold these spoilers. You know, I kinda like the story. I will say, I did not go in this game totally blind, as I did know not to talk to Booster when he falls here, but that's all. I really like the characters, from the super homie Kazuma, dope girl Curly, Momorin. I just really like the characters. I feel like it makes up for a lot of the parts of the story just being unexplained. A bunch of robots were sent to the floating island to get the demon crown, but by who? I guess just people from all across the world? Your main character, along with Curly, were also robots sent but to destroy the demon crown. Yes, robots. You may not be able to tell. Always wondered if the lack of explanation is maybe just stuff up for interpretation, or maybe because this is a game from 2004. I really don't get anything Mystery was trying to accomplish. She made a crown, but the crown got cursed, and now she has to serve who wears the crown. Maybe she didn't make the crown and it was this Ballos guy? I don't know, man. Man, speaking of Curly, trying to save her was a hassle and a half. I did not look up anything for this playthrough. This boss here, I struggled more than with any other boss. I just kept drowning, man. I finally beat him, and alright, I guess I'll do it again. And dear lord, the number of times I missed this jump. Here's the crazy part. When you're here, you're supposed to take Curly in order to save her. But once you finish this part, you see Curly float away, and you return back to the village. You see Booster again, and he's like, "Only you, huh?" So I thought I did something wrong, and went through the part again, leaving Curly there. But nothing changed. I even tried to go back to get her, but I couldn't. So then I replayed again and figured taking Curly was like more work, so that'd be the best option. Insanity, man. It was a thrill all the way through. I absolutely love moving around the Booster, by the way. This thing is a blast. I even took the time to start exploring around past areas with it, some real Metroidvania stuff, you know? I found this mushroom guy who I couldn't do anything with, and went back to the guy who I stole the gun from at the beginning, and I got the spur. You know how cool it was to find this weapon without any spoilers? You're asked to trade in your gun a couple times throughout the game, but I felt like I was capable enough with the starting pistol. I peeped this gun that shoots through walls. Bro, this is kinda trash. Anyways, I felt like I was on the bad ending route still, even seeing Curly again, but then seeing that she lost her memory. Wait, restoring her memory with a mushroom? Huh. I die. Curly, I do too much for you. How do robots eat anyways? I was honestly surprised by the mood this game gives. It's honestly a pretty depressing game. This game's music is hard to explain. It's very intense in fights and other times very calming and empty. Eyes of Flame is a godlike song. Like, it really gives you the feeling of everyone you meeting going missing or dying, fighting things way stronger than you, all in this hopeless situation. Hearing the balcony theme with Kazuma sitting by the dragon, ready to run off, knowing that he can't do anything to help anyone, and even asking you to come with him, it's powerful stuff, man. I really like the sprites and character designs in this game. I'm not sure why. I just really vibe with them, even more than the remastered sprites they did in the latest version. I just don't like these as much. Something about these pixely faces just show so much more emotion to me. Like Booster looking unsure but serious in the original. Some are better in the remaster though, at least the faces. Like Toriko's, I don't really get what they were trying to go for in the original. I really like these outside areas with the clouds and stuff. It's really pretty. But yeah, this game is dark despite the cutesy graphics. I think King's death really hit me. He went out like a total buster, man. He's such a cool character too. The sword, the fact he cooked red flowers and ate them so he was super strong, it's a waste that he died, man. You should have been able to save him at least, like you could to everyone else. Well, save Toriko too. Man, King is so cool. I can't believe it. What a travesty. He looks cool, and he's got a cool sword, and he has the best theme in the game. But you wouldn't know because probably won't even hear it. Toriko has a theme too. It makes me feel like there was more planned with these characters or something. King had so much potential, man. Oh my god. It's pretty surprising, I think, though, for multiple endings and whatnot to be in a 2004 indie game. Like, endings that aren't fully determined by just making choices in text, but whether or not you have certain items or you see certain people. It's really cool. In order to finally save Curly and get the best ending, you have to randomly fall in this pit and suddenly you're in this hell dungeon. and at the end you fight a boss with a ton of different forms. This guy is also kind of relatively unexplained. He kind of just comes out of nowhere. This fight is some insanity though. Just look, what's going on? But yeah, this level took me like an hour. It was hard, but I'm so glad it was. I thought the doctor was a pushover. I feel like the idea of you having to work really hard to get the best ending, it feels good. It's more fulfilling. Man, I completely forgot about this life pot item too. So it says it gives you the full heal, so I'm like, oh yeah, nice trick, developer. Someone's gonna be dying and I would have to use the life pot to save them. So I didn't use it throughout the whole game. But then by the time I was at the Ballos fight, I was like, wait, I still have this thing. The craziest part is that the run that I won against Ballos, I didn't even use the life pot. I completely forgot about it. I feel like the best ending leaves a lot of things out though, in terms of seeing what the other characters are up to. Now hear me out. Where the hell is my boy Jack? What happened to him? What the hell happened to my boy Jack? The last time you see him is in this jail cell before he gets taken away. Where did he go? Is he one of these guys at the sanctuary? None of them look like him. I think these guys are the colony guys that were with Curly earlier. So where's Jack? You never see him again? Watch this. Jack survives and is the main character of Cave Story 2. Yeah! Listen, I just have a crush on Jack, okay? You know, this may be surprising, but my favorite ending is the 4th ending mod made by a fan. Everyone lives, you get more dialogue and purpose from characters like Jack, Kazuma, Booster. Misery has a better defined arc and ending exposition that explains the crown and everything. It's nice, it's happy, and it makes sense. But, you know, maybe it's too happy? I don't know. We're never getting another cave story, so I'll die on the hill that this is the true canon ending. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time I've accepted something fan made as canon, you know. Hey man, I really liked Cave Story. This was really good. I'm glad I played it. It was nice and short. I don't have time for long games anymore, so this is a great game to stop and play. Games don't need to be long, man. But yeah, Cave Story soundtrack is so good. It's crazy. Pixel managed to do something in 2004 that a lot of indie devs still struggle with now. Amazing gameplay, great sprites, incredible music. Plot could have been a little bit more fleshed out, but I got the mod to carry me through. It might have even pioneered weird Easter eggs with being able to find Curly's panties. Why can't you find Quote's underwear too, huh? Anyways, I guess it's kinda sad. Cave Story was a big game back then, but I feel like it's pretty niche nowadays. A lot of kids are going to grow up never hearing about it, even with the modern ports. Honestly, I can't help but to think of a more modern indie hit when I think of Cave Story. Shovel Knight. Another 2D indie platformer. People loved it, and guess what? Shovel Knight started appearing in everything. Compare that to Quote. His hat appeared in a couple games. I feel like if Cave Story came out nowadays, Quote might have been able to appear in a ton of different games too. And his mechanic is cool too, of leveling up and stuff. Missed opportunity when he was put into a fighting game with Curly. Like, I mean it. Coming from 2020, I think Cave Story has aged very well. Kinda sad Pixel didn't end up making more games besides like Carol Blaster. Cave Story could have been a huge world to explore and expand on, you know? But I don't know, I guess I kinda like the quiet, mysterious world of Cave Story. In a way, Cave Story is one of a kind. With all the cool indie titles flooding the market nowadays, maybe it really wouldn't have made an impact if it was made now. Of course, there might not even be a lot of indie titles flooding the market if it wasn't for Cave Story in the first place. I'm sad that I can't fully grasp the impact this game made. I totally missed out. And now it's starting to fade in the minds too. The big indie game for kids nowadays was Undertale. And soon that will fade too. Just a part of getting old. You know, there's another indie game that was pretty influential. I mean, it came out before Cave Story. I'll catch you guys next time. as we take a look at another old indie gem.